Hello, Fáilte, welcome. This is myself, Lora O'Brien, and I am an author and co-founder of the Irish Pagan School and a dedicated priest of the Morrigan for many, many years, pushing into 2 decades now. So today we're going to talk about what does the Morrigan look like, and this Irish goddess can, to give the short answer, can look like whatever the fuck she wants. She's a shapeshifter, very well attested in the stories, in the literature, in the lore, that the Morrigan can shapeshift into any form that they so wish to serve whatever purpose or whatever mission they happen to be on at the time. So Na Morrigan, the plural form of the Morrigan, and her sisters or aspects, they usually appear as female. Even in animal form, they usually appear as female. And we have examples of a black bird, a raven, a crow. We have, and a crow actually in Ireland would be or what we call a scald crow, a royston crow, a hooded crow. So it's the black and grey lads that are around. And the blackbird is definitely one, and black and grey would definitely be colours associated with Na Morrigan, as well as red particularly. So we have examples of shapeshifting into crow form, as I said, or blackbird form, or raven form, into a heifer, a female cow, young female cow, with with the colours of red and white, which would be otherworld colours as well. And red here would be like that kind of rusty brown red that animals get, more like a fox than a true red. There is a grey wolf, there is an eel, and then in human form there is a comely young maiden. There is an old crone, a wizened old hag. There is a shrieking fury across the battlefield, dancing on the tips of spears. There is the washer at the ford, so an old woman usually who would be washing bloody garments of soldiers who will die in battle. But for all that being said, and the many different forms that Na Morrigan take through the tales, the lore, the literature that we have within the Irish tradition, the one that I personally feel is closest to a true form or a natural form is when the Morrigan appears in Táin Bó Ragavna, the cattle raid of Ragavna. And within this story, the Morrigan appears as a woman it doesn't give an age or anything like that, or any descriptions of beauty or lack thereof, but a woman with red hair, red eyebrows, red cloak, carrying spears. And this, to me, between the giving of the name, which again I believe would be closest to a true name, and the appearance of the man, who within a lot of tales the Morrigan will appear as the woman and then be kind of, footnoted as this woman is the Morrigan. And this is particularly in relation to the Dagda. So I believe that where the man or the woman appear respectively in relation to the Morrigan or the Dagda, that it is one or the other of those, personally. So there is a man who also gives a true name in that story, and I believe that personally to be the Dagda. And this appearance of her with the red hair, red eyebrows, red cloak, and carrying spears and riding a chariot, and pulled by a red horse that has its own unique appearance. Go and read the story. It's an interesting one. It's not very long, so it's a good little start for anybody who is interested in getting to the Morrigan lore. And I do have another video on this channel about resources, the Morrigan resources, and you can absolutely look up the story Tán Bo Regavna. And for me personally then, so that's the lore, the literature, the documented appearances, shall we say, the official documented appearances of Na Morina. For me personally, she appears as a hooded form. When she does appear, she appears as a hooded form. Gender kind of irrelevant, to be honest, and quite a dark, so I don't usually see face details within that hood, but that's just me. And I suppose the interesting thing about all this is people are going to perceive a deity, particularly a shape-shifting deity, they are going to perceive it in a way that is relevant to their relationship with that deity. Now, I will just throw a note on the end. There's no need to have the sexualized male gaze, you know, sexy Morrigan. And I'm not just talking about nude here. I'm talking about the, you know, the cartoon superhero poses, the flimsy, ridiculous, non-armored, the musculature that couldn't lift a flower, let alone a sword or a spear. None of those are right or relevant as far as I can see. Certainly none of them would be in any way attested in the lore and the literature or anywhere within my 20 plus years of personal experience and of having other people's personal experience and images related. I have never come across anybody who describes the Morrigan in that way, but it is so common in art form, and it is that male gaze, you know, it's that just because she has sex in one of the stories, she must be a sex goddess, you know. So that is a fallacy and has no place in the Irish pagan Morrigan tradition. So if that is something that you want to be authentic to, that you want to genuinely connect with rather than just projecting your own fantasy version on, then make sure you go back and you read the stories, make sure you connect to the Morrigan in a respectful and realistic way and see what she looks like to you after that. So, slán go fóill, I'll see you in the next video.